Hi friends, I am Kevin Shaji. This is my fourth lecture on credit risk measurement and management. Today we are going to discuss on classification of assets. A bank and a financial institution classify asset based on its risk characteristics. So here how a bank classify an asset as a standard asset and non-performing asset is what is discussed now. A standard asset is an asset where there is no default in repayment. So at a particular point of time, when there is a default, then we will be classifying as non-performing asset. Whether we classify an asset as non-performing asset on day one itself, no, there is a rule. And now that is what is being discussed here. So, as I told earlier, when an facility repayment is done on due date, then it is considered standard. For example, in working capital, if interest is serviced on due date, then we consider standard. In case of term loan, when EMI is paid on due date, then it is considered as standard. When we will consider as NPA is being discussed now. When a person default, from the next day, we will not classify as NPA. We will classify as NPA only after crossing 90 days. So before crossing 90 days, we will be still considering an asset as standard only. So then we have a doubt. A person becomes defaulting in a particular bank, and that should be communicated to all the banks. Otherwise, other banks will make a wrong decision. Is there a communication mechanism? Yes. For exposure greater than 5 crores, RBI has an reporting mechanism, and that is known as CRILC. That classify an asset, a standard asset, into 3 categories. A standard asset where default has happened will be classified into 3 categories: SMA0, SMA1, and SMA2. So what is SMA0? When a customer default, and default is less than 30 days from the due date, or maybe because of technical reasons, then we consider it as SMA0. What are these technical reasons? Maybe renewal is not done on due date because of non-submission of documents. There can be other many technical reasons where can be classified as SMA0. On default angle, and when entity will be classified as SMA0 when the default is up to 30 days. Means from the date of default up to 30 days of default, we'll be considering as SMA0. Overdue from 31 days to 60 days, we classify as SMA1. Overdue from 61 days to 90 days, we classify as SMA2. SMA1 and SMA2 is more what you call it, is more concern assets than SMA0, because maybe there can be customers who may miss the due date. But if it crosses 30 days, that's a concern. We should be cautious on that. So what happens when an entity default for 90 days or more? Then we will be classifying as NPA, or non-performing asset. So when an entity becomes due, when interest becomes due or principal becomes due for more than or equal to 3 months, then we classify as NPA, or non-performing asset. In this NPA also, there are many classifications. NPA for first 12 months will be classified as substandard asset. This classification in NPA is required because based on this classification, provisioning is done. So when an asset becomes NPA, we are not allowed to recognize any revenue from it. Also, we should make provision for principal also. So how to make provision on principal is determined by the classification of NPA. First classification of NPA is substandard. Means NPA is, if it is less than 12 months, then we classify as substandard. Next classification is doubtful. NPA more than 12 months. then we classify as doubtful. Then loss asset. Loss asset is classification done by the management of the bank of an institution based upon the actual recoverability. If it is not recoverable, if the management finds that this customer we cannot recover anything, then we'll consider as no loss asset. So this is a simple explanation of classification of asset. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe. Thank you very much.